get to the webinar, go ahead and let me know who's here and where you're from in the chat box. And we'll be starting soon with essential oils for beginners with One Essential Community. We're really excited to have this webinar this evening. Hi, everyone. Hi, Kathy. We're going to wait a few minutes. I know that some people had difficulty logging in. You are at the One Essential Community Essential Oils for Beginners webinar, and it will be starting in a minute or two. If you want to log in, put your name and where you're from. And if you have any questions that I can make sure I cover today, go ahead and start chatting those too. So I'm looking forward to spending just a little bit of time with all of you and talking about essential oils. I do have a poll over on the right-hand side so that you can answer those questions. And we're going to get started. We have quite a few people in here, and I want to welcome all of you to Essential Oils for Beginners from One Essential Community. We're based in 4 different locations, actually. I'm Jenny Stohl. I'm one of the co-founders with my mom, Sherry, who lives in Bettendorf, Iowa. I live in Geneseo, Illinois. My sister Ann, who started with doTERRA first, lives up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And my sister Sarah lives in Kansas City, Kansas. And so we are One Essential Community. We're going to go over what essential oils are, what you can do with them, and how to use them, and then any questions that you have. So I appreciate you letting me know questions as they come up, and I will try to answer them as best I can. Okay, let's get started. So essential oils are wonderful. They're natural, they're made from plants. And doTERRA has been around since 2008. In April, we'll be celebrating an anniversary. And we actually source the oils from around the world where they are most potent. And so one of the first things I say in my classes is that they're very potent. 1 drop is good. And in today's society, especially in the United States, we think if 1's good, then 3's better. And that's not the case with essential oils. They're very potent. You need to respect them. That doesn't mean you need to be afraid of them by any means, but you need to be aware that they are extremely potent. And so you do want to make sure that you're using them appropriately and you're not overusing them. So there are 3 ways that you can use essential oils, and I want to go over those first. And the first way is aromatically, and I actually have a diffuser here. This is our Aroma Light diffuser, and right now I'm diffusing our Balance Blend. It's a blend of essential oils. It helps ground you, kind of helps maybe you calm down and that type of thing. And diffusing actually gets the oils into the air. So there's several parts to this, but you lift this up. There's a chamber in there where you put water. You can set it to have lights or no lights, and there's lots of different options that you can do. But what's nice is it gets into the air and it helps then you breathe the scent in and inhale the aroma that way. You can also if you don't have a diffuser, a lot of people who start with essential oils don't have a diffuser right away, or they make the decision to start with essential oils and they have to wait for their diffuser to come. And so until that point, you can use essential oils, making sure that I didn't pick oregano because I wouldn't want to do that. But this is On Guard. This is our immunity booster, our immunity blend. And you can just pour it into your hand, a drop, rub it, and inhale it. That's a wonderful way to have your personal diffuser with you at any time. You can also even make it where if you put it in your hand, make it inhaler this way to cover your nose and your mouth. And so you are able to inhale it. A lot of times I tell people, especially during seasonal allergies, and we may need to kind of help our body get over some of those symptoms, is a great way is to put a drop of lemon, lavender, and peppermint on a Kleenex and keep it in your pocket. And that way you can pick up the tissue and inhale it that way, and you have that scent with you all the time. And so it's great to use as an inhaler. So the first way to use an essential oil is through using a diffuser and aromatically. The second way is topically. So there's lots of ways. You can just take the oil and rub it and apply it. One of the best places, believe it or not, is on the bottoms of your feet. You have the biggest pores on the bottom of your feet, and it's able to get to every cell in your body very quickly. So if there's a particular scent that you don't like, or especially with children, a good place to apply topically the oils is on the bottom of their feet. Hi, Meredith. Welcome. You haven't missed much. We're talking about the ways that you can use essential oils, and we talked about aromatically with a diffuser, or you can even just place it in your hand and breathe it in. So now we're talking about topically. And topically, you're able to use the oils and apply them. We call it straight or undiluted right from the bottle. You can also use a carrier oil. And I'm sure if you've done a little research online, you're like, carrier oil, what's that? One of the most popular is fractionated coconut oil. This is doTERRA's brand. And fractionated coconut oil is kind of processed from a second processing of the solid coconut oil. So the coconut oil that you would use in cooking is processed one more time to make the fractionated coconut oil. And the fractionated coconut oil is really, there's no smell to it. And so this is really one of the first carrier oils that most people start with. Then you can branch out and you could try the grapeseed, the avocado. There's lots of different carrier oils, basically any healthy oil. So you wouldn't want to use canola oil or vegetable oil, but any type of safe oil or healthy oil is great for a carrier oil. And what we do is we can dilute them. So there's some oils that are a little bit more potent, or what we call hot oils, ones that you wouldn't want to take, like I did our immunity blend, and just pour right into your hand. You would want to dilute it a little bit, because again, remember, as I had said before, they're extremely potent. So you would put a little bit of the fractionated coconut oil in your hand, then you would place a drop of the oil, and then you could apply it. You really want to make sure you dilute oil when you're applying to a child or someone who's elderly, because again, their skin is not as durable, let's say, as someone who is an adult. So the other thing is whenever we say children or elderly, also compromised medical situations. So if someone has some issues, you definitely want to be careful with the oils with them. Excuse me. Another great way topically is through adding them to lotion. And so we have an unscented lotion, which is wonderful. It's actually, you just place a dollop in your hand, add the essential oil, and then you can apply it that way too. So that's unscented. And then we have a citrus bliss scent, which is a wonderful orange with a little hint of vanilla in it, very invigorating. And this is a great hand lotion to apply in the afternoon and when you need a little pick-me-up. So that's a way to do it topically as well, where you wouldn't be just applying the oils. Now, one thing I'm going to say, when you're using the oils, and any oil, but especially one that maybe is a little bit more, people with sensitive skin have to be careful, like peppermint. Peppermint is great to help with headaches, to help bring down your temperature. So in the summer, it's wonderful to kind of spritz it on your neck. But when you're dealing with oil and you get it on your hand, because you're applying it to your temples maybe, there is a tendency, you forget that you put it on and maybe touch your eye and you get it in your eye, and it does sting. It's not going to hurt you, but you want to get rid of that stinging. And so a carrier oil with a tissue, dab it, and that'll pull the oil out. And so it's just good to kind of be prepared for those situations where maybe it would scare someone, especially a child. So again, that's why we would apply it to the bottom of the feet, because hopefully they wouldn't be touching the bottom of their feet. So we would be putting on a cotton sock or footed pajamas or something like that, so that a parent or a guardian is applying the oil to the bottoms of their feet, and then they don't have it on their hands. Another great way to apply topically is with a roller bottle. bottle. And we have several of these that we sell that are blends, but you can buy them empty and put your own in. So you could put your own carrier oil and then whatever oil you wanted, and you would have it diluted automatically. But what's great about these is you don't get it on your hands. So if it's something that maybe would cause a little concern if you got it on your hands and then forgotten, got it close to your eye, applying with a roller bottle is a wonderful way to go. I'm just checking for questions. Okay, so let's start with a few of our most favorite oils. And the one that I had just talked about, peppermint, is great topically, but it also, you can take internally, and that's the third way. So we have aromatically, topically, and internally. And internally, doTERRA oils are safe. They're certified pure, therapeutic grade. So they are safe to take internally as long as they have a supplement facts. And I don't think my camera's going to get this very well, but the supplement facts tells you that you're able to take it internally. Now, internally, you can just, take the cap off and drop a drop of peppermint underneath your tongue. You do want to be careful. You probably want to practice a little bit because you don't want to get too many drops. Peppermint oil is a great example of how wonderful doTERRA oils are. 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So that's why I say you want to know that you really know when a drop comes out, and because you wouldn't want to be taking 2 or 3 drops. That would be very potent and strong. And so the other thing about internally is that you can add them to your water. But one of the tips I want to tell you is you want to use a glass water bottle. The thing about essential oils is that they're great at drawing out toxins. That's one of the reasons we take them internally. But plastic has a lot of toxins in it. And so it would be if you use your plastic water bottle, it would be pulling the toxins out of the water bottle, putting them into the water, and then you're ingesting it. So you want to make sure that you purchase a glass water bottle. I like these that have a silicone sleeve because they're easy to grip, because it does take a little while to adjust from your plastic water bottle to a glass water bottle. It's just, again, a change, and but you want to make sure that you have something to hold on to and that you're not going to drop it. Again, you want to start with probably 1 drop of an oil. My favorite oil to put in water is lime. I really like it. It's quite refreshing. And so if you ever have an opportunity to try a drop of lime in your water, I think you should do it. It's a wonderful thing. The other way to take oils internally, other than you can just drop it underneath your tongue sublingually, and you can put it in your water, is you can also take them in a veggie cap. And there's this neat little, my husband makes these. We call them our veggie cap holders, because you learn that you have to have like 3 hands to do everything. So this is a veggie cap. You can get those from doTERRA or a health food store. There's some that are like beef or chicken or that type of thing, but also these are veggies, so there's no animal product in it. But they come apart, and then what you do is you take a pipette. Let me see if I have my pipette here. Oh, it fell on the floor, so we're not going to get it. But it's a dropper where you can drop the oil into the veggie capsule, connect it together, and then you would take it with some water. Now, there's a few things when you take internally that I'd like you to remember. First, you want to take it with a full glass of water. That means 8 to 12 ounces of water. You do want to make sure that you drink that full amount of water. Some people also want to have a little bit of food in their stomach when they take them. And so just, be aware of your body and what you feel you would need. The other thing is that you don't want to pre-fill all of these and leave them on your counter, because they will eventually, the veggie cap dissolves and then you have oil everywhere. Now, my dad came up with a really brilliant idea. He pre-fills these, puts them in the freezer. What's great is essential oils don't freeze completely. They kind of become slushy. But then he knows that they're not going to disintegrate and be all over the counter. So you can certainly purchase one of these online and have your own in the freezer prepared ahead of time. So people always ask, what type of oils do you take internally? We have a blend of oil called Slim and Sassy. Slim and Sassy is our metabolic blend. It helps with cravings, reducing cravings and helping increase your metabolism. And this is a great one that you take throughout the day, up to 5 drops in a veggie capsule 5 times a day. You want to work your way up. I always say work your way up to that. But this would be something that you would take every day, several times a day in a veggie capsule. The other thing is seasonal allergies. We had talked about aromatically, but you could take internally. Lemon, lavender, and peppermint is a wonderful allergy blend, and you could take 2 drops of each of those in a veggie capsule to help kind of combat some of your symptoms of seasonal allergies. So those are some examples of oils that people take on a very regular basis internally. So let's talk, oops, it wasn't the dogs at the beginning, it is my hand lotion that I'm knocking over, so I apologize. So we talked about peppermint. Lemon is a wonderful essential oil. It is, when you open it, it really does smell like a whole grove of lemons. It's wonderful. Citrus essential oils are actually made from the rind. So one of the other things is grapefruit is a wonderful one as well, but people always ask, well, I'm on a medication where I can't eat grapefruit, so I can't use grapefruit oil. Grapefruit oil is one of the oils that is in the Slim and Sassy blend, but what's wonderful is it's actually processed from the rind of the grapefruit, which doesn't have any of the properties in it that you can't have when you're on a statin drug. And so you are able to use grapefruit. Again, the internet is a great reference for you to follow up and check on that. And a lot of doctors are now very open to using essential oils. And so you'll want to check with your doctor on that too. But let's go back to lemon. Lemon is wonderful in your water. The other things that you can do with lemon is it's great cleaning stainless steel appliances. It removes fingerprints lickety split. It's also really good if you have gummy residue, you have a sticky stain. It's also really good as a laundry pre-treater to get stains out of clothes. Believe it or not, I've never had an essential oil leave a stain on my clothes. In fact, you can mix vinegar, put some lemon essential oil in it, and it's a great stain remover, and there's no toxins. So lemon, it has a lot more uses than just to flavor our water, and it's great to use in your kitchen to help kind of deodorize and descent. I usually put a drop down my garbage disposal. It helps with all kinds of things. So lemon is probably one of the oils that a lot of people start with because they're familiar with lemon. They know what to expect smell-wise, but it's also great to use if you start making your own cleaning and beauty products. So lemon is a really good one, and it is part of what we call the trio, the lemon, lavender, and peppermint for seasonal allergies. So let's talk about lavender. Lavender is a wonderful oil. It is really calming. And in fact, I use lavender this week. I made a 4-ounce bottle of put distilled water and 25 drops of lavender in it. We're having puppies in the next week. And that is a wonderful blend that I use not only with the mother, but also spray around the kennel to kind of keep the puppies calm too. So, and probably a little bit on me as we're having lots of different animals, but lavender is wonderful to calm. I do live on a farm and we have donkeys, and donkeys can be quite stubborn. And this was the first essential oil that we were introduced to from my sister Ann, who lives in Green Bay. And she gave my dad a bottle of lavender essential oil for his donkey. And it worked. We put a few drops in on our hand, then we rub the top of their head and down along their neck, probably a half an hour. We will take them to senior living facilities, to preschools, and they need to be calm. They need to listen. They can be stubborn anytime they want at the barn with us, but if we're going to go out around people, we need them to behave and to calm down. It's a change of scenery. Lavender really does help. And so this is really what convinced us that maybe essential oils do offer a lot, and they really do. So lavender is wonderful also if you burn yourself. So I have some in my kitchen. You can apply it. It's very soothing to the skin. And so it's not just for calming, but it's great. The puppy spray that I have actually also could be a linen spray. So you could have one in your bedroom and just spray your linens before you go to bed, and it'll actually help relax you and calm you and kind of quiet your mind. So lavender has a lot more to offer than just calming, but it really is probably the most recognizable thing that lavender is used for. The next oil that I want to talk about, we just touched on briefly, was our immunity blend. That's On Guard. It is a mixture of clove and wild orange, and there's a few products. It has its own product line. It's not just the oil. There's one of my most favorite non-oil products is our toothpaste. It's awesome, and it's an incredibly refreshing, wonderful toothpaste without all those chemicals and fluoride that you get in a lot of the other toothpaste that you can buy at the store. On Guard also has laundry detergent. It has a concentrated cleaner, which is phenomenal. It has even throat drops, which are really great. So you start to feel kind of that, I know I've been exposed to something, I might have a cold tickle coming on. You really want to boost your On Guard. It can be taken internally. And actually there's even a soft gel, meaning it's a pre-made. Instead of having to make your own veggie cap, it comes pre-made. It's shelf stable. You don't have to freeze it or anything like that, but you can buy it in a bottle. And so On Guard has a lot of possibilities. It's great. I also use it in a lot of my DIY projects. I make hand sanitizer, foaming soap for my bathrooms. And so there's a lot of possibilities with On Guard, and you could put it in your diffuser. A lot of classrooms, a lot of teachers use it in their classrooms to diffuse it, to kind of help spread the germ control throughout their room, and even make like a air and surface refresher, using it to wipe down the desks and things like that. Digest Zen is a wonderful blend. If you've read anything about doTERRA, Digest Zen can be used internally, and there is a pre-made shelf-stable soft gel of it, but you can take it internally. I usually put a few ounces of water in a glass, drop in 2 drops of Digest Zen, and I will drink that. It helps everything from heartburn to tummy ache, constipation to diarrhea. It kind of can accommodate all of those things. It knows what your body needs, and it's able to take care of that. Digest Zen can be used topically. So that does help too with children. You can dilute it with the fractionated coconut oil and then rub it on their tummy directly so that they don't have to taste it. It has fennel in it, so it has a very licoricey flavor, and some children don't like it. Some adults don't like it, but some kids don't like it. And so you definitely can apply it topically, and that will help. The next one I want to talk about is our oregano. Oregano is wonderful. It is very good at killing things that you don't want. So when you're sick, oregano comes in handy. Now, I will tell you, this is a hot oil, or what we call hot. Definitely has to be diluted with everyone, not just children and seniors or people in compromised health. But it's wonderful to be able to use, and it just takes everything a little notch higher. Smells just like pizza. If you are a wellness advocate and you're going to do your own class, you want to make sure that you stop and say, this is not one that you want to try. You do not want to put it in your hand. You just want to take the lid off, and you can definitely smell it. They're not going to even have to get it very close. And make sure you give them that warning, because you're talking to people who may not have ever been exposed to essential oils. So you do want to make sure you give that warning before you pass around oregano, because you don't want anyone to get hurt. The other one that kind of goes with oregano is melaleuca. It's tea tree oil. And it's really great. I add it to a lot of things. I make my own cleaning wipes. I make my own face wash. And so I add it to those things. It really helps with acne. It helps with any type of fungal that you want to take care of. And so it's great as a spray if you're traveling in like a 2-ounce bottle with distilled water. You can put 10 drops of melaleuca, and then you can spray in the hotel room when you get there, and that will help kill any germs that are there. So it's a great thing to have with you to kind of clean and sanitize. The next one I want to talk about is frankincense. And frankincense is the king of all oils. It's kind of what I tell my wellness advocates. If you're not sure what oil will help, use frankincense. Frank to the rescue. It is one that will help with your, I'm looking, Desiree says, can a nursing mother consume oils? That's a loaded question. Yes and no. And I'm going to direct you. There's a lot of places online where you can look up references for particular oils. Desiree, some of them are that they will counteract your milk supply. And so you don't want to take them for that reason. Not that they're going to hurt you or the baby, but you don't want decreased milk production. So the place to look is everythingessential.me. And they have a very strong reference. But the other thing is, I would recommend, excuse me, Modern Essentials has a book. This is, I think, volume 4. I have volume 5 as well. But this has a chart in the back, and it goes over adults, child who's sensitive, and pregnancy. And it tells you what oils you can and cannot use at those times that most doctors will accept as safe to use or not to use. And so I do know peppermint is safe to use with moderate dilution. So you just want to make sure that you read and follow their suggestions. So frankincense is a great one to use because it promotes cellular health. And so added with the other ones, it can kind of give the punch to really get you the results that you wanted with essential oils. It's great also at getting to every cell in your body. And so it's just a really nice oil. The next one I want to talk about is Breathe. It's our respiratory blend. It's one that is wonderfully effective when you're diffusing it, but you can also use it topically. You cannot, this one does not have the supplement facts, so it's not one that you should take internally, but topically on the bottom of the feet, on the back of the neck, it's wonderful to help promote really good breathing. The next one is Deep Blue. And Deep Blue is kind of our Aches and Pains Go Away blend, and it comes in, this is a 5 milliliter size. This is a 15 milliliter size, so you can kind of see the difference. But the 5 milliliter, it also comes in a 10 milliliter roll-on, like I was showing earlier. This isn't it because it's a blue color. It actually is blue. But it's a wonderful oil. I have a lot. Hold on, I'm going to read a question here. Good question, Amy. So she's saying, did you say only 1 drop of oil is required as essential oils are potent? doTERRA essential oils are potent. Now, with Deep Blue, more than 1 drop is probably needed because you're using it because you have an ache or a pain. And I guess, Amy, if you could continue in the chat and tell me like where the pain is, because Deep Blue is probably one of them. I'll tell you, you would put where your pain is. So if you're having back pain, I would say put it on your back. If you're having knee pain, you put it on your knee. But the other oils, like if you're like Breathe, I actually apply to my feet. I apply frankincense to my feet. But when I need Deep Blue, I apply it to where it is. And it's just kind of a rule of thumb. And this is a good place for me to interject that essential oils are new to most of us. I've met a few people who had mothers who used essential oils, so they've grown up with it. But for most of it, it's new. So some of it is just time and experience to kind of learn. As long as you get the essential oil on your body, it's going to help you. But Deep Blue will probably help you more if you put it where it's hurting. One of the other things with Deep Blue, it does depend on your level of pain. Some people have intense pain and prolonged pain. And so Deep Blue sometimes cuts it and sometimes doesn't, but they'll put Deep Blue on, they'll wait a minute, and then they'll put another oil, what we call layering. And when they do that, either wintergreen or lemongrass or peppermint, that kind of pushes or drives the Deep Blue in deeper, and that really does help. So that's another way. So I did talk about other things before the oregano, Glenda, and I will send you the link so that you can see what happened previous to that, because I'd love for you to make sure you get all the information. So at the end of this, everybody will get an email who registered. So Glenda, if you didn't register, you can certainly go to One Essential Community and message us, and I will get you the link to get the playback so that you don't miss any of the important information. So with Deep Blue, layering is really important for some people. And so don't give up. It does work, and it works really well. The other thing is that, you know, when we were talking earlier about if you accidentally got an essential oil on your hand and then touched your eye, that use a carrier oil. So we were talking about fractionated coconut oil with a tissue to draw it out. Your natural reaction would be to use water. You don't want to do that because water drives it in further. So with like Deep Blue, you can use a warm compress, just a washcloth, run under some lukewarm to a little bit warmer, not too hot, and put that where you put the Deep Blue, and that'll drive it in. Okay, Amy, I would say, depending on she's talking to me, she's telling me exactly why she wants Deep Blue, and it's for her husband. So depending on how big of a man he is, I would say on his foot, probably start with 2 to 3 drops in the place where it's bothering him. Wait a minute or two, and I'm going to say with that, what we're treating, lemongrass is a really good one to layer. You need to be careful with lemongrass. You may want to dilute it at first just to see, but lemongrass for that situation is wonderful layered with deep blue. And then you could do a warm compress to even drive it in further. And I think he'll start finding some relief. I've had success with that. So for an adult male, 2 to 3 drops of deep blue on a foot is fine. That's not going to be an issue. And if he could do it 2 times a day, that would even be better. So again, more frequently applying is better than using more drops one time. Okay. And if you do have questions, make sure that you're typing them out. I'm trying to read them as I'm going, and so I can make sure everybody's questions get answered. I want to talk about one of my favorite oils. I mean, it's hard. One of the things that as wellness advocates we will do is we'll say, okay, if you were on a deserted island, what oil would you take? All of us are going to say, well, I can't pick just one. I have to have more than one. But one of my favorites, it would not be the only oil I would take, but one of my new favorites is white fir. And I'm going to tell you what. Number one, it smells incredible. It smells like Christmas anytime you open up the bottle. But it's a very gentle oil. And why I call it gentle is it's really good with pain, but it's not irritating. So let's say your wrist is bothering you. The wrist isn't really tough skin. It's not like your feet. And so it can't take the deep blue and the lemongrass like your foot can. So, but white fir you can put on and it gently addresses those exact same issues. So white fir is a good one to maybe apply in between those times or on areas where maybe it needs a little more gentle approach to that. But one of the things I really like is we had talked about this earlier, Citrus Bliss hand lotion. In the afternoon, I work at a desk, so I'm typing a lot. I will apply my Citrus Bliss lotion. So I put a little dollop in my hand, 1 drop of white fir, rub them together, put them on my wrist. And it really is invigorating because it's Citrus Bliss and kind of calming and just gently helps with those little aches and pains of sitting at a desk all day. So these would be good things for an afternoon pick-me-up. So white fir, not an expensive oil, $20 wholesale, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But the hand lotion, so it's kind of a nice little treat in the afternoon and a good way to topically get in some oils to maybe help pick you up. Okay, I do want to talk about how you can get doTERRA oils. I know we've just glazed the top of the surface on essential oils. There's so much more you can do. There's a lot of DIY things. I know I'll be offering a webinar later in the month on, now I have my oils, what do I do with them? Because I think that happens is we get 5, 6, 7 oils and it's like, oh, what do I do? How do I apply them? How do I use them and incorporate them in my daily life? So be looking for that. I will send out that announcement the beginning of next week and you can get registered for that. But how do you get doTERRA essential oils? We would love to have you join the One Essential Community team. We have team members across the country. We have a private Facebook page where all of us ask each other questions, share our successes with oils, share what we're making DIY, how we're getting the most out of our account and that type of thing. And that's with a wholesale membership. So if you do not have a doTERRA wholesale membership, it's $35 for your first year. And I will be sending you a link to our page. We do have an incentive in March for joining with one of the kits, an enrollment kit, and that'll be all spelled out there. But you will, if you join with a kit, they also waive the $35 fee. So that's wonderful. and you're able to receive 25% off of every oil that you purchase for that whole year. So it's a nice way to get some oils and save some money, and we'd love to have you on our team. So I'm going to start reading some questions, and feel free to type them in, and if there's something that you'd like more information on, be sure to ask. Someone had asked earlier about oregano. Oregano can, I told you it was a hot oil and you want to be careful when you use it topically. I do know that people do diffuse it. I have not. It's not that I'm opposed to it by any means, but I think I tend to use it more internally. And so I would make a veggie cap with a few drops of oregano, a few drops of frankincense, and a few drops of lemon. And so, yes, you can take oregano internally. We have a few pre-made products that already have oregano in it. So it's an oil that really does have a place. It's a great oil. You just have to watch topically when you apply it. That was a really good question, by the way. Okay, a few more questions. One coming in on lavender. Lavender, there have been some comments that doTERRA lavender, when they've smelled it, smells different, and it is. It's a wonderful smell, but we're so used to the chemical smells, the chemical synthetic smells of our candles and of our air fresheners, and so it's a great smell. But again, remember I told you how potent they are. You want to be careful not to use too much at a time, because then it is going to be a little overwhelming. So just make sure that I had said, you can put it on a tissue to put in a pocket to deal with allergies. 1 drop of lemon, lavender, and peppermint each, one of each. And that'll be enough for you to see the benefit aromatically of those oils. The toothpaste. Somebody had asked about the price of the toothpaste. It's $8.50, and I know coming from, I used to get my toothpaste free, but after you use it, you're gonna pay for it just like I do. I love it. My husband and I both use it. If we travel, we take it with us. We miss our toothpaste if we don't have it. It's wonderful. It's whitening, and like I said, it has already On Guard in it. So it's kind of a cinnamon mint flavor. It's wonderful. And if you are a wellness advocate, you can actually get samples of the toothpaste now. They're not very expensive. And each sample is 3 to 4 times of toothbrushing. So if you do travel, that's a great way to go. Roller bottles. Yes, you can reuse them. Somebody had asked me about that. The roller ball does, it does come out. You kind of just have to wiggle it a little bit, but then you're able to refill it, or put your own fractionated coconut oil in and make a new blend. So I always tell people, make sure you save the bottles. There's a lot of things that you can do with those to reuse them and to use them to share with people, to take to your office so that you have them right there at your desk, or to send with your children to help them out. So yes, you can refill the bottles, and you can always take the caps off and reuse them. The other thing somebody had asked, and maybe I misunderstood, was this. This is on the top of all of the bottles is a reducer. And so those do come out as well. You just want to be careful. I have spilled a bottle before. And again, with no reducer, it's just going to pour normally, and you would very rarely need more, a teaspoon or whatever. So, but you can take it out, and there are different tops that you can get like this is a flip cap, so that you're not having to twist on and off the cap and that type of thing. So this is called a reducer. Some of the oils pour very quickly and some of them pour a little bit slower, and it does depend how they're made, what they're made of. I know that wild orange is one of the thinnest, or it comes out the fastest. So you want to be careful if you use wild orange, which is the product of the month for wellness advocates this month. So just be careful if you've not had wild orange and you open your product of the month. It does come out very quickly. Vetiver, on the other hand, which is a grass that grows in Haiti, is a very thick oil, really thick. And so it takes patience and time for it to come out. Oh, really good question. What is the best way to keep oils together? I'm going to tell you, there's lots of, this is one of my bags. This is actually the bag I use to take my oils to class with me that I'm going to talk about. I have another bag that has, it can hold up to 64. It probably has 40. But this is the 10 oils that we talked about today go in here, and they're my class bags. So there's lots of different options. You can get them on Amazon. I know on our Facebook page and our blog, we show some that our community members have purchased and like a lot. You do want to keep your oils out of direct sunlight. So you don't want to keep them in your car. If you have some that you take back and forth with you to work, you want to take it into work with you. You don't want to leave it out in the car. Once they get extremely warm, they can oxidize and lose some of their potency. So they're not going to go bad, but you paid to have a potent oil, so you want to make sure that you protect them. So that's why the dark glass. Now you'll notice that this is a really popular question, is why do they have white roller bottles? Well, most of the time, if you have a roller bottle, you're going to drop it in your purse and take it with you. This is past tense, which is our headache blend. And so, you know, most of the time it's with you. If you suffer from headaches, you're going to have this with you. So you just don't want it in direct sunlight. So that's why the bags serve the purpose of protecting the oils, protecting your investment, and keeping them organized. Now, Amy, how I have mine, I have class oils, and then I have mine that my husband and I use at the house. And I have a box that has all my unopened oils, so oils that I've ordered that I haven't used yet. And then I have ones that my husband uses, are on his dresser, and the ones I use are on mine. It's real, and I know my sisters do it differently, and my mom does it differently. So it's really personal preference. What I would say, the biggest thing I've learned is when you buy a bag, make sure you get a really good deal on it, because you may change the way in which your organization of your oils is. And so you don't want to spend a few $100s on a bag that maybe isn't going to suit your purpose in 6 months. So what I've done is I've waited till things have gone on sale and then I purchase them. And the price of bags have come down. There's some places that have some very nice bags very inexpensively, because you may learn a different way that is more convenient to you and your family. And so I just tell people, don't invest too much. Try to make it work. I know there's some great ideas on Pinterest. We have a phenomenal Pinterest board. And Amy, you may want to take a look at some ideas. Some ladies have done spice racks and that type of thing. And that may suit you better than a bag even. So if you are going to carry them in your purse, you want to make sure they're in some type of protection, though. You don't want to break a bottle in your purse. So just make sure that if you're going to travel, they're protected. All of doTERRA oils are sent with bubble wrap around them. So some people save the bubble wrap. So when they travel, they'll put them in bubble wrap until they find the bag that suits them perfectly. So Okay, a few more questions here, and then we're going to wrap up. And you will get an email from me with a link to this recorded, and you feel free to share it with your downline and use it to answer some of their questions or to a potential wellness advocate that you can enroll. Hopefully that our questions that we had tonight will be able to help them. There's two more questions. The lotion. One of the questions wasn't it has to be a wellness advocate. You can buy these individually, and there is a set of 3. I think it's $14.50 for 1 or $25.50 for 3. Much better deal. Don't do like I did the first time I bought one, saying, "Oh, if I don't like it," you're gonna like it. And you'll find another friend who likes it, because it's a quite large bottle. It's 6.7 ounces of lotion. It's a large tube. Sorry, not bottle. So anyway, I just do look at that in your product guide. There's some great little bundles, and that's one of them. Is buy it in 3. It'll save you some money. Okay, one last one was on Slim and Sassy. Slim and Sassy is wonderful. It's personal preference. They said, how would you recommend? It's personal preference if you want to use the soft gel, which is a pre-made, shelf-stable, already ready for you gel, or if you make your own veggie capsule, or if you put it in water. It really is your preference if you like the flavor. Some people don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm one of those who doesn't, and so I make my own veggie capsules. My mom prefers to buy the soft gels, and I have several wellness advocates who actually put it in their water and enjoy that. So it's all personal preference, and as long as you're getting your 25 drops a day, doesn't matter how they come. What do you recommend for osteoarthritis? My husband actually has osteoarthritis, sorry. And really there's several. One of them I would definitely recommend is Deep Blue. And Deep Blue in the 10 milliliter, this isn't Deep Blue, but the 10 milliliter roll-on is wonderful. It's something that it's easy to apply even if it's your back. And so definitely 10 milliliter Deep Blue. But the other thing is that he's found Cypress helps. Cypress helps with circulation, and marjoram. That's a really good one. So those 3 is what I would start with. And then you could always layer them as well with warm compresses. The other thing is, and that we've not even touched tonight, that's more of I have my oils, is doTERRA has supplements. And what has helped my husband is the Lifelong Vitality, which is when you do have a wholesale membership, you're able to get the supplements, the Lifelong Vitality supplements, considerably cheaper. And that has really helped him. He does not forget to take his vitamins. So that is always something to research and look into. So it's Lifelong Vitality would be the next thing I would add after those oils. Okay, well, we are at our hour. I want to thank you for joining us. Look for that email with the link of where you can sign up and join the One Essential Community team. And look for our next webinar, which will be a little bit more in depth than what we have here. So good luck, enjoy your essential oils, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great night. Thank you.